Hey guys, so I want to talk about the idea of of how people recognize that the righteousness, that's given as a gift because of the promise of God through faith, it's given, by faith, it's received by faith, but somehow they want to reject people and say, you're not a Christian and you're rejected from God because of some of the actions that you're doing. Because I don't understand that, because to me, either you're saved because of the promise of God, through faith, or or you have your righteousness through the law, which we know is not possible, which we know is counted as debt. Um, you know, because the law can make no one righteous. Following certain behavioral rules can make no one righteous. No one. But yet, Christians continue to do this. I don't understand it. So it says in Romans 4, because if Abraham was made righteous because of his actions, he would have had a reason to brag but not in front of God. What does the scripture say? Abraham had faith in God, and it was credited to him as righteousness. Workers' salaries aren't credited to them on the basis of an employer's grace, but rather on the basis of what they deserve. But faith is credited as righteousness to those who don't work, because they have faith in God who makes the ungodly righteous. God does it, right? In the same way, David also pronounces a blessing on the person to whom God credits righteousness apart from their actions. Apart. Blessed are those whose actions outside the law are forgiven and whose sins are covered. Blessed are those whose sin isn't counted against them by the Lord. Is this blessing only for the circumcised? Or is it also for those who aren't circumcised as well? We say faith was credited to Abraham as righteousness. So how is it credited? When he was circumcised or when he wasn't circumcised? In fact, he was credited while he was not circumcised. So he received the sign of circumcision as a seal of righteousness afterwards. That comes from the faith he had while he was not circumcised. It happened this way so that Abraham could be the ancestor of all those people who are not circumcised, who have faith in God and are so counted as righteous. He could also be the ancestor of those circumcised people who aren't only circumcised, but who also walk in the path of faith like our ancestor Abraham did while he was not circumcised. The promise to Abraham and to his descendants that he would inherit the world didn't come through the law, but through the righteousness that comes from faith. So there's a righteousness that comes from faith. If they inherit because of the law, then faith has no effect, and the promise is canceled. So the law cancels the promise. The law brings wrath, but when there isn't any law, there isn't any violation of the law. That's why the inheritance comes through faith, so that it will be on the basis of God's grace. So, I don't understand how people could say, oh, well, if you're doing this, this, and that, you forget it. You're a castaway. God not going to care about you. Like, you can't have it both ways. Either the righteousness that we have and are secure with comes by faith because of the promise, or it comes through the law. All of your actions. We know righteousness by the law or maintaining your salvation by the law is not possible. That's what Christ saved us out of, to bring us into the promise, to be made righteous apart from our actions.